Hi there, Libra. Welcome to my channel. This is Sagittarius Yogini, and I'm doing an August 2024 general tarot reading. I am kind of like weighing my options about how I'm going to, you know, do these readings. I'm thinking about Tarotscopes, which combine the astrological transits of the week. I'm thinking about weekly readings, but this is an overview of the month, and just to get the ball rolling here, because I didn't want to just start with a weekly tarot reading. So anyway, if you like what you see, please follow me, help my channel grow, and I'm planning on doing some related themes, maybe some astrology on its own at one point. But anyway, let's look at August. Okay. The way my setup is, it's kind of hard to get all of the cards in a shot and still have a pretty close-up. So I want a close-up reading. So I'm still getting situated here. So, well, the first thing I would say about this is that there's like this intrigue, and it looks a little bit like there's stuff going on behind the scenes in some way. Um, so whether this is your love life or maybe work related, I try to keep it more general and open, give multiple possibilities. But yeah, so the reason I say this is that the focus card is the Nine of Wands, and you can see the expression on that person's face. It's kind of like wary. It's like, I'm not sure about this. I don't know what that person is up to. And that's kind of what this card represents, kind of like watching your back. This is also a card of boundaries. So that always suggests that somebody's trying to kind of override your boundaries. And it's like, what's up with that? Why is that happening? With Libra as a sign, the reason is because you have a hard time saying no. You have a hard time, you tend to be somebody who wants to please other people at your own expense. So boundaries may be hard for you to kind of like enforce. Even if you tell somebody something, you may be a little bit leery of, repeating your boundary. But this may come up in August in some way. If this is like a past relationship, then you may be kind of like a little bit nervous that somebody's coming back into the picture, because we are having a Mercury retrograde in August, and Mercury retrogrades can sometimes make you hear from somebody in your past. But this may be a current relationship that you're dealing with. You rule the house of relationships. So Libra people tend to be in relationships. And if a Libra person wants a relationship a little bit too much, they may settle for less. The past actions that are leading to this feeling of maybe needing more boundaries and all of that stuff is the Ten of Wands. In relationships, I think of the person who is carrying the weight of the relationship. They're doing everything. That happens when you're with someone and it's kind of like, I don't know how many people remember that book, He's Just Not That Into You. It's one of those kinds of things. Not that somebody wouldn't be into you, but the person that you happen to be with might not be as, involved as you are. and therefore you feel like you have to do the heavy lifting in the relationship. Sometimes this can be other areas. Maybe you're the only one working and you may feel resentful, but you still do it. That's a codependency, trait of codependency. Now, the other thing too is like in the workplace, you this can be a situation where you feel like if there, especially if this has already happened, where there's been a chopping block, where people have lost their jobs, they've trimmed the budget or the payroll, so to speak, and you are afraid that you're going to be next. The Ten of Wands is like you picking up the slack and maybe doing the job of two people and not complaining about it. And is that fair? Could it be that you're being taken advantage of because the higher ups know that you're willing to do this because you're afraid of the alternative? You're afraid of what's going to happen if you don't do it. What's coming in is the Five of Swords. This can be a situation where things start to reveal themselves to you in terms of what is really going on. This can be a card of, some kind of deceit. Um, it's interesting, one of the interpretations of this card is the idea of an empty victory. That's one of my books. And basically, you see this person, they're holding a few swords, and there are people in the background kind of like without the swords. They got them on the ground, and it's like winning the battle but losing the war. I don't really think that interpretation goes along with a lot of what the rest of the reading is about, because there's like this apprehension with the Nine of Wands. So what I think of in with the Five of Swords, I often think of coworkers, where for some reason they are maybe kind of, if you're the black sheep or the one that is left out, they may be trying to kind of um, keep you from something. Whether they can achieve that or not is a different story. Now, in your particular chart, and in terms of transits, Libra, your sixth house is Pisces. Of course, this is a general assessment and a general reading. And Neptune has been transiting through this house for years. Neptune can indicate deception or confusion, or something isn't quite as it seems. And the sixth house can be co-workers. Well, Neptune is retrograding right now, and that can bring out the truth of a situation. I feel like I sounded Canadian as an oot. Um, so something along those lines. And maybe if that has happened to you at all, or perhaps this is something that will happen in the month of August, it can be disheartening because you may have assumed that you could trust such a person and then find out otherwise. By the way, this full moon that we're having in August is going to be in fellow air sign Aquarius, and this will be in your fifth house of love. So this could definitely be where this is showing up, and it could be that somebody that you have been dating has not been straight with you, and that this comes out. Full moons can bring out secrets, but even like in terms of what we call backbiting or talking smack, these kinds of things also can be what's going on. And that could apply to coworkers as well. What crosses you, or what the obstacle is in this scenario is the Queen of Wands. Now, queens can be, obviously, that's a feminine energy, and that can be a mother, but and so, yeah, I mean, this might even be like siblings, family members, Five of Swords, something like that. Especially if you feel like you're the one that is always trying to do so much and you are not appreciated, that can feel like a slap in the face for sure. The Queen of Wands in the challenge position is a drama queen. Because of the sunflower, or I always think of Leo. The wands are fire energy, so the fire signs are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Now, I have read that this card is actually, this individual is supposed to be connected to, well, you could say card, to Sagittarius. But, what's up with the sunflower? And I've seen this over and over again. I think that it does go along with Leo in terms of royalty, in terms of that sense of being in that position of authority. And I'm laughing because I remember one time I made a video about, and I mentioned something about the Queen of Wands, and oh man, somebody really like ripped me a new one. That, I guess that was their favorite card or something, and they were acting like I was being so horrific about that. So I'm almost afraid that this person's going to hear this and say the same thing. But I'm reading this as a reverse card, so this can be like I always think of narcissists with the queens and kings, if they're in the challenge position, or if I pull it and it's a reverse card, because I'm reading this like a reversed card. So this can be someone who's a megalomaniac, and queens, I feel like they can be female authority figures like bosses or mothers. And really, this woman may be challenging your boundaries. Because she's fire and that's masculine, there can be an aggression with such a person. Like a pushiness, like sucking the oxygen out of the room because of her. Like, that idea of like being overly dramatic and attention seeking. And that can be problematic, like, because with the Five of Swords, maybe she is feeding those coworkers. And so you feel like you're all alone against these people. And probably, even if this is in a circle of friends, for instance, you could be like, as a woman, if you're a woman, you might be the pretty one. A Libra tends to be very, very attractive. And that, some women are very competitive with that. And even you male Libras, you can be pretty too. You can be very into your appearance yourself. And maybe there is some competitiveness that gets generated, or someone trying to knock you down a peg, but doing so behind your back. If this is a mother, or it could be even like a stepmother, and I'm sorry, it could be a stepmother, but I was thinking of a mother-in-law. You may have like done everything you could to please this person, and it's never enough. And so you have to decide whether or not your boundaries are being respected. Narcissists are notorious for not respecting boundaries. The outcome card is the Hermit. So this is something that is very, I would say, pretty unusual for Libra people, because you tend to be extroverted individuals. The Hermit I associate with the 12th house in astrology, which is kind of the house of contemplation, the house of solitude. This is about doing soul searching. And you may need to do it because you're dealing with someone who is making your life very difficult. Maybe there's more than one person, and you feel very awkward at work, or if this is like a romantic situation, you may choose to be alone because or even if like this is an in-law situation, that other person may not be stepping up to the plate with their mother. And so she's allowed to just have free reign and do whatever, whenever. And it's not fair to you. And you don't like conflict, but you don't like disharmony in your personal environment. So you may just choose to separate yourself from that person, including if you are um, living together, let alone being married, but living together as well. And in August, if you are in a committed partnership, this may come to a head because you may feel, well, I said committed partnership, but I mean just uh, the full moon is actually in that fifth house, which doesn't have to be about partnership. It's more about dating, but it's also about love and really seeing if you are in love with that person, because it may be quite painful what you're having to contend with. Okay, that's what I have for you, Libra. By the way, this can actually be a good thing because this can give you some kind of inspiration about how you want your life to be in general, because you may be so busy doing certain things that you're not thinking about your spiritual path. You're just thinking about your work life or your love life. So this can actually be a very good thing. That's what I have for you. I hope that this resonated. And if you would like a Tarotscope reading, which is your astrology, I pull up your natal chart and look at what's going on there currently, maybe in the near future, and do a tarot reading for you. You can check below for more information. Thanks for watching. Bye.